Whenever a young man loses his life to gun violence, the crowd shouts, "They need education." But rarely, if ever, have I heard the conversation, what is the best type of education? That is, what is the type of education that would give our high-risk youth the best chance at hope and excellence? Or rather bluntly, what type of education could stop a youth from pulling the trigger? This is the question that has been at the center of my thinking for 15 years. Over the course of studying high-risk youth, I see that the choice between violence or nonviolence begins primarily with their perceptions about their life and the lives of those around them. Among the young men living in statistically violent communities, there is the core belief of the inevitability and normalcy of death, murder, and jail. The cheapness of man is every day's tragedy, Emerson writes. 2 years after Katrina, in an open-air drug market in New Orleans, I once approached a career drug dealer who was selling product 10 feet from the spot where one of his peers was shot in the head only hours ago. I asked the drug dealer to tell me about the victim. He looked up with blood-flooded eyes on the verge of tears and said, "You know, he was a piece of crap like me." In preventing gun violence, the most important task of the teacher is to show the youth how to see. These youth cannot project a broad and grand view of their future because they fail to see what is there, the poetic projection of their potential. How do we, as educators, show that the good life still exists to a child who keeps one eye on the abyss? For me, this is the question of liberal education in the 21st century, the age of annihilation. I believe art is the most appropriate method for these young men to grasp truth. Art arrests their attention. Art is the rare event of the day, something otherworldly and important. Excellent art presents a possible future in its highest form. Excellent art animates mankind. It is a beast of energy, powering man's soul towards his second nature. These youth need wisdom and beauty in their lives in order to show them new mountains to climb and to give them the wings to get there. With this concept in mind, I created the Future Heroes program. It uses a curriculum of liberal arts and the production of fine arts to present the highest possible human alternatives to high-risk youth. For 6 weeks in the summer, students will plan, organize, and model in a photo portrait based on a great book. The photo captures a defining moment in their future legendary endeavors. Towards this end, students learn basic drawing skills, design costumes, read and discuss texts, study classic paintings, visit art museums, and discuss ideas about marketing. In all their studies and activities, they contemplate their potential as a human being. These photos are used as a reference for the artist to craft large-scale portraits of the students like the ones pictured here. The finished portrait will then be used as a marketing material for a public health campaign to stop gun violence in New Orleans. As an artist teacher, my goal is to give students a personal vision of the good life, a guiding, enduring image that I pray becomes a guiding principle for the heroic turning of his soul. Through these paintings, the artist teacher is concretely constructing the future for the young hero. Now, with this enchanting image in his imagination, the student can take his first steps into his very real, very beautiful, faded future. Liberal and fine arts steal these youth away from the everydayness, an everydayness whose norm, like our own, is marked with mass violent death. I have seen the radical turn that the arts and their lofty vision of humanity can awaken in young imprisoned souls. Gun violence runs like a sickness in our city, but there is hope, for greatness is contagious.